Hello, beautiful people. Future me. Welcome to another programming workout of mine, where I will try to improve my programming abilities. Today we will be doing, drumroll, Spring tutorial. Okay. And we will start with the 5 minutes of typing exercise that we do here. So we can start. I will lock my mouse, start the time. Do the first error. Okay, I kind of felt good about this. So what is the result? 4% and 41. Okay, I'll take it. I'd take it any day. Still should be pushing this down. It felt comfortable this time. Okay. So we have a few seconds. 2, 1, and we are done. And now I have 25 minutes of what I forgot already. It was Spring tutorial. Alright. So let's start the clock. And I will do what we were doing. We were doing a Spring Boot, I think. So let's do spring.io, I believe. And we were doing the bootstrapping, the one like learn and guides, I think it was. Getting started guides, typical guides, tutorials. Oh, there's a lot of things. Okay, so I don't know. Topical guides, tutorials. So, okay, building REST with Spring, easily services with Spring, completed in 2 to 3 hours. Liar. I never trust those. Building REST services with Spring. REST has quickly become the de facto standard for building web servers on the web because they are easy to build and easy to consume. There's a much larger discussion to be had about how REST fits the world of microservices, but for this tutorial let's just look at building RESTful services. Why REST? REST embraces the precepts of the web, including its architecture, benefits, and everything else. This is no surprise, given its author, Roy Fielding, was involved in probably a dozen specs which govern how the web operates. What benefits? Go to Web and its core protocol, HTTP, provides a stack of features. Suitable actions, get, post, put, delete, caching, redirection, and forwarding, security, encryption, and authentication. These are all critical factors on building resilient services. But that is not all. The web is built out of lots of tiny specs, hence it's been able to evolve easily without getting bogged down in standards wars. The web is built out of lots of tiny specs, evolve easily without getting bogged down with standards wars. Okay, I guess. Okay. Developers are able to draw upon third-party toolkits that implement these diverse specs and instantly have both client and server technology at their fingertips. So building on top of HTTP REST APIs provide the means to build flexible APIs that can support backward compatibility, evolvable APIs, scalable services, securable services, a spectrum of stateless to stateful services. What's important to realize is that REST, however ambigu ambigu ubiquitous, how do you read that? Ubiquitous. Ubiquitous, okay. However ubiquitous, it's not standard per se. but an approach, a style, a set of constraints on your architecture that can help you build web-scale systems. In this tutorial, we will use the Spring portfolio to build a RESTful service while leveraging the stackless features of REST. Getting started. As we work through this tutorial, we use Spring Boot. Go to Spring Initializer and select following. Choose generate. Okay, so I will read it and then I will do it till here probably. So select following. Web JPA H2 Lombok. Then choose generate project. A zip will be downloaded, unzip it. Inside you'll find simple Maven-based project including a POM XML. You can use Gradle. The examples this tutorial will be Maven-based. Spring Boot can work with any IDE. You can use Eclipse, IntelliJ IDEA, NetBeans, etc. The Spring Tool Suite is an open source, so that is Eclipse, right? Yep. Spring Tools for Eclipse. Spring Tools for Visual Studio. Visual Studio, I heard it's nice. Spring Tools for Theia. I never heard about it. It looks really similar to this one. And getting started and so on. Okay. So we can close this. Eclipse-based IDE distribution that provides superset of the Java IE distribution of Eclipse includes features, blah blah blah. Features that make making working with Spring application even easier. It is by no means required, but consider it if you want an extra oomph for your keystrokes. Here's a video demonstrating how to get started with STS and Spring Boot. This is a general introduction to familiarize you with the tools. To pick up IntelliJ IDEA as your IDE for this tutorial, you have to install Lombok plugin. In order to see how we install plugins for IntelliJ IDEA, please have a look at that. After this, you have ensure that enable annotation processing checkbox is ticket and preferences compiler annotation processors as it described here. Okay, so we will generate the thing. And I will move you here, sir. And we want web. We want JPA. We want H2. We want Lombok. Here we go. So now I have 4 these things. Maven, Java, they never said anything about anything else, so it says code example and demo, but I don't like that. Let's start with the simplest thing we can construct. In fact, like it's so simple as possible, we can leave out the concepts of rests. Our example is simple payroll, so non-rest. So I will call it building REST services with Spring. Oh, why not? Okay, what's the matter? Doesn't say anything, so maybe the big B is not good. Maybe the big R. Maybe. I see. Oh, we'll see. Maybe this will bump out. Control Space Explorer. doesn't do anything. That's control. Control enter should generate it. It doesn't do nothing neither. So I'll put it in cancel. It will be not that. It will be building. Why? What's the problem? Can I do it like this? Apparently I can. Wow, okay. So study, yeah, why not? I will put it in here. Then I will unzip it. Extract. Study, yeah, here is good. And then I will open the project, I guess. So I will say open. And that is, it will be here somewhere, exorcism not. And it was called building, something like that, study. Okay, so study. Here's building rest and here's building rest services. Okay, but I don't see it here. So maybe I need to do refresh. Control Alt Y, what the hell is that? Oh, it's here. Maybe I overlooked it. Okay. Then there was this configuration they were talking about. And that was in here. Let's describe it in here. And the answer is make sure to enable annotation processing. Annotation processors. Okay, so we'll do that. Settings. Come on. It's building or what? Annotation. Annotation processors and enable automation processing. Checkbox. Compiler annotation. Enable annotation processing. Okay. Bam. Apply. Okay. So we have that. What is happening in here? Solving dependencies. Okay, so I'm guessing that's what's happening in here. Yep. Okay, so we can read further. And here, what is this? Okay, this is too small for me. Okay, nice. Many icons. Also. Spring tools. Okay. I'm not interested in that, I guess. Story so far. Let's start off with the simplest thing that we construct. In fact, to make it as simple as possible, we can even leave out the concepts of rest. Later, we'll add rest to understand the difference. Oh, that's good. Our example models is simple payroll service that manages the employees of a company. Simply put, you need to store employees objects in a H2 in memory database, and oh, H2 is in memory database. Okay, that's information, and access them via JPA, the Java Persistent something. This will be wrapped in a Spring MVC layer to access remotely. Okay, so source my Java payroll employee and source main Java services with Spring building. This is insane. And here's what building with Spring application. Okay, and here's okay. This is insane. That is just insane. So it's source main Java payroll, source main Java payroll, source main Java. I will create a package in here. Package, and that was payroll, and here we will create an employee class. Employee. Go. Then we had what? We imported Lombok and some other stuff, and we have a ID, long ID, string name, string role, and constructor and annotations, data and entity. Okay, so let's do that. Employee ID name role. My private long ID. Private string name, and the first one role. Private string role. Okay, this was at the data from Lombok, yes, and it was something else as well from Lombok, and that is entity. Entity is JPA annotation to make this object ready for storage in JPA based storage. Okay, so whatever you say, big boss. Entity JavaX persistence, probably. Java persistence, that could be. So what's the problem? Persistence should have a primary key. So this says ID. So we say here ID. Okay. Is that it? Okay, and there's multiple oh, crap. Import class, create annotations, maybe import, and that's look like the JPA, but I will have a look. Java, yeah, JavaX it is. So that import class, that's the first one. Okay, and oh, why is it on the another line suddenly? Long ID, and there was another that was generated value. So I will say generate value, and enter. Oh, create annotation. No. Cancel. Generated value. What's the problem? Oh, I see. From Lombok. No, from JPA. I believe. JavaX persistent generated value. And oh crap. Generated. Okay, so go back. Now Alt enter, import class. Oh, it suddenly works, and it put the thing on the next. Okay, so then we had a constructor. So let's say public employee, and it will take string name and string role like that. And we will say simply this dot name equals name and this dot role equal to role. Save that, have a look. There's an implicit constructor. Do I have to have it? Here. Custom constructor is created when we need to create a new instance but don't yet have an ID. This should work, right? Even without that. Okay, I will keep it there. And I'll say public employee. And I will say to do will this work without. Oh, it will be not generated because I have a constructor in here, so maybe that is needed. Probably. And why is it light blue and this one is dark blue? Never used. Okay, whatever you say, baby. Despite being small, this Java can't contain much. Data is Lombok annotation to create altogether setters, equal hash, and toString method based on the fields. Entity is JPA annotation to make this object ready for storage in a JPA-based data storage. ID, name, and role are the attributes for our domain object. Okay. The first being marked with more JPA annotation to indicate it's the primary key and automatically populated by the JPA provider. A custom constructor is created when we need to create a new instance but don't yet have an ID. Okay. With this domain object definition, we can now turn to Spring Data JPA to handle the tedious database interactions. Spring Data repositories are interfaces with methods supporting reading, updating, deleting, and creating records against a back-end data store. Some repositories also support data paging and storing and sorting where appropriate. Spring Data synthesizes implementations based on conventions found in the naming of the methods in the interface. There are multiple repository implementations besides JPA. You can use Spring Data, MongoDB, Spring Data, Gemfire, Spring Data, Cassandra, etc. For this tutorial, we'll stick with JPA. Non-REST. Okay, so there's a employee repository. So we will create that. And it was here, if I'm not mistaken, Java class, employee repository. And there was what? There was a interface, employee repository, extends JPA. Okay. Employee long. Extends JPA repo. And we are out of the time, so I'll finish this bit. Repo JPA repository, and that will be what's wrong. Was extends JPA employee long, and it should be interface. Okay, so is there no? So I do class, okay, whatever. Interface, like that. And here it was employee and long, employee long, long, okay, save it. Okay, so I will do help MD, so this I will copy paste. This will be progress MD, and if we go to progress MD, we can do readme first. We will say progress in time. Then this is my progress tracking notes to tutorial. And here we have what? Tutorial, and I can do the thing they did, so that will be that. Maybe not even that, and we will take this, it's in here, and then we will have a link. I'll steal it like that, bam, and if I click it, cool. This is cool. Okay. What else? Well, I will do this, and then we will have that. That is okay. The original package. I don't need those. No, I want this. This will be latest latest thing done, and I will take all of you to the hell. Bam. Things done, and let's say created, what was it, employee, well, we are way over the time. I will say here we were getting started. And so for the story so far section. Okay, can I somehow highlight it like this maybe? Da-da. What about this? Okay, so that will be shift and knock on. Shift and I will say that. It will be like that. Okay. And maybe even more. Okay, save. And we are way over the time, so that means we are done. And done is better than perfect. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.